and welcome to the Art of Living Well podcast. I'm Stephanie May Potter, and I'm here with my co-host, Marnie Marmette.
We created the Art of Living Well podcast to empower you to live your happiest, healthiest, and most authentic life. Each week, we will bring you inspiring and motivating conversations covering health and wellness topics, including fitness, mindset, food, travel, product reviews, and strategies from a variety of experts, including our own bank of knowledge.
We are excited to educate, motivate, and inspire you to change the way you perceive health and discover your art of living well. Get ready to feel inspired. Hello, welcome to the 100th episode of the Art of Living Well podcast. Marnie and I are so excited to be with you guys today to celebrate the last 2 years, 100 episodes, and really all the accomplishments. Yay! We've both learned so much, and so we wanted to pop on today and just share what we've learned. And you're also going to get to hear from each of our family members, and they're going to talk about very briefly what they've learned from the Art of Living Well podcast. But first, a quick word from our sponsor, Good Health Saunas. It's time to relax, rejuvenate, and renew. Everybody wants to feel better. Everybody wants to be healthy and happy. Good Health Saunas is proud to provide top-of-the-line infrared saunas that deliver the most impactful results for overall health and wellness. Infrared saunas produce penetrating heat to help you sweat and heal your body from the inside. Sweating on a regular basis can help you feel amazing. Numerous studies have been done to show the power of infrared sauna use to help you sweat. Health benefits of regular sauna use may include detoxification, immune system support, muscle repair, chronic pain relief, relaxation, deeper sleep, and so much more.
There are a lot of reasons people buy Good Health Sauna. I just recently bought one at the Minnesota State Fair, and I am loving it so far. From the moment of purchase to the delivery and setup, Good Health Sauna staff have been amazing. They answered all my questions, and they did a fabulous job with the installation. I look forward to my new evening routine where I take a 30 to 40 minute sauna before I shower and go to bed. And I love how relaxed I feel, and more importantly, how I am adding to my overall health and happiness. And best of all, it's a great way to remove toxins from my body daily. Good Health Sauna provides commercial-grade infrared saunas for in-home and commercial use, backed up with the best warranty in the industry, lifetime guarantee, and unmatched customer service. They have 3 stores, one at the Mall of America in Minnesota and 2 in Wisconsin, Appleton and Waukesha. For more information and to purchase online, go check out your special offer at www.goodhealthsaunas.com/theartoflivingwell. So to kick it off, I think just jumping in and starting the podcast was such a big accomplishment for the both of us. Taking this risk to do this was something that I was way outside of my comfort zone, and I had a lot of fear around it, and I felt like it was very outside of my box.
I think we were similar in that, Marnie, right? I mean, neither one of us loved public speaking. I used to seriously sweat whenever I had to get up in front and talk to anyone. And this is a little different because no one's watching us live, but we're showing up every Wednesday and putting out an episode, and we're talking and interviewing guests. And that was a huge leap for me as well.
Yeah. And I agree. It's crazy how that learning curve is pretty quick. Everyone says once you practice and once you speak in public and speak off the cuff, it just gets easier and easier. And I have to say that is true because I'm way more comfortable doing that now than I was 2 years ago when we started this.
Absolutely. And I think that kind of goes into just facing a fear and getting outside your comfort zone. And, I don't know about you, but I'm always telling my kids, to try new things and new experiences. And we're now really being role models for our kids by taking on this endeavor, starting a new business, doing the podcast. And I think that's just, I feel, I don't want to say accomplished. That's not the right word, but I just feel proud of what we've done and that we have taken on something new.
And I'm 48 years old. You're 47 years old.
Yes.
And, you don't have to be in your 20s or 30s to start something new. You can do it at any age. And I think that's really important for people to hear.
Absolutely. And I love hearing those stories of people that are even in their 60s, 70s, 80s trying something new. And so I think you're right. Don't let fear or, oh, I'm too old to do that. Don't let that prevent you from fueling that fire that's inside of you and really taking on and doing something that you love.
Hi, I am Owen Potter. I'm 11 years old and I'm in 5th grade. What I've learned from the Art of Living Well podcast is that crickets are really good for you and they have a lot of protein, and cricket cookies taste great. The first time I tried them, I had no idea my mom had fooled me. So for me, the Art of Living Well is really about trying new things. Last year I tried snowboarding for the first time, and even though I didn't love it, it's good to step out of your comfort zone. And congratulations on your 100th episode.
Hi, my name is Gabby. I'm in 9th grade, and I'm Marnie's daughter. One thing that I've learned from the Art of Living Well podcast is to always keep a good mindset, because even when things can be a little more negative in life, it'll always make you happier if you look to the brighter side. And congrats on your 100th episode.
I think another thing that we both really learned in doing this podcast is asking people for help and using mentors and, trusting ourselves when we had certain questions or asking people for favors. And I think, sometimes it's hard to ask for help.
Absolutely. And I think it's, oh, what are they going to say? Oh, they're not going to respond, or someone's going to say no. But I mean, what's the worst they can say is no. And I think we've both been great for each other, when we're thinking about reaching out to whether it's a guest or someone to do a promotion with, or a sponsorship or some sort of collaboration. And, just put yourself out there, and 9 times out of 10, we're happy with the response. And people are so kind and generous with their time and with their resources. If if they have the capacity, that they end up saying yes. And we're always so excited. It just makes our day. And I think it makes us want to pay that forward too, right? And do the same thing when someone else asks for help. Because we know we've been so blessed with the mentors and the resources and the people that have really helped us along this journey. So we won't name everyone today, but you guys are out there, and just thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And, kind of moving on, the pandemic hit right when we, pretty early on in the podcast.
Yeah,
and
like 5 months maybe. Yeah.
As much as, the pandemic, obviously I would not wish the pandemic on the world at any time, but it really was a silver lining for the Art of Living Well podcast, because since there wasn't a lot to do and we were stuck at home, we kind of threw ourselves into the podcast, and it really, I think, pushed our business along in a way that I'm not sure, it would have if we didn't have the pandemic.
I totally agree. And one thing that we really did is we worked on our website. We worked on some of the different programs that we are now running, like the Quarterly Detox and the Thrive program. And yeah, you're right. I don't know if that would have happened nearly as quickly as if we didn't have all that time. And time just to think about what we really wanted to do and what we want this business to look like. So and
it also forced us to really think about silver linings.
That's what I was exactly what I was just going to say. And I think that's something that you and I have talked so much about. And for all the listeners out there, you've heard us talk about silver linings. Our guests have talked about silver linings. My kids are way sick of me talking about silver linings, but I truly believe that there have been many. And for us, it was being able to really grow and expand this podcast. And I think the next thing that kind of leads into with pandemic and silver linings is just spending more time in nature, which I think everyone around the world has done more of.
And we've had so many guests on the podcast, and I think 9 out of 10 times they talk about disconnecting and going out into nature to, de-stress and, just get away and be with your thoughts and be with yourself and, take deep breaths. And I think Stephanie and I, again, during the pandemic, both ramped up our time in nature. And I have continued that. I believe you have as well. And it's been amazing. It's definitely my favorite place to be at this point.
It is. And even socializing with people, just being outside, it doesn't mean, being in nature doesn't mean you're camping or you're going on a hike or anything like super crazy outdoorsy. It just literally means opening up your front door and stepping outside, right? It's so simple. And all the gatherings that happened outside. I mean, I much prefer to be out. I always have been like, eat outside as long as it's warm enough out, eat outside. So just amping that up has been huge. And I think for both of us, it's something we always like to do. But I think the silver lining of the pandemic is that it just accelerated it. It amped it up for us, and it's become more of a daily ritual. Which I don't know, for me, at least before, it was as big of a daily ritual.
Yeah. And I would say that I'm like crabby if I don't get my time outside every day, no matter what the weather is. Like, I need to get outside, breathe in that fresh air, ground myself into the earth, not necessarily barefoot, but just, feeling that energy from the earth that I don't feel when I'm indoors. And I can see in myself the crabbiness that comes if I don't get that time.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And I've already was thinking, like, today it was raining all morning and I'm like, when am I going to get my walk? Because if I don't go outside and get the walk, especially with the dog, it makes me crabby.
Hi, I'm Zach. I'm Marnie's son, and I'm 21 years old. I'm currently a junior at the University of Michigan. And my biggest takeaway from the Art of Living Well podcast and its 100 episode run so far is that there are so many different ways to live well. 100 different people have come onto this podcast and provided their take and their experience on what they think is the best way to live a healthy and fulfilling and happy life. And that's really powerful to me as I kind of navigate so many changes in my life, being in college, having this podcast start when I'm finishing high school, going on to college, thinking about my future and how there are so many changes in my life, but how I can keep my health a constant throughout. And there are infinite ways to do so, whether that's maintaining a healthy diet, but also enjoying myself and getting my exercise in and experiencing all sorts of different, relationships with friends and family, and really seeing health holistically and wellness, and constantly being aware that no matter what sort of changes you go through in life, there are always ways to make yourself feel better and live healthier.
Hi, my name is Will, and I'm 16 years old. I'm a junior in high school, and the Art of Living Well podcast has taught me to listen to my body. I am sensitive to certain foods that I enjoy, and the podcast has inspired me to reduce the amount of these foods that I eat or to find alternative foods to replace them. By doing so, I have improved my life. Congratulations on 100 episodes.
So I think, having all these guests on our show has really forced us both to re-examine our own lives as various topics come up with the guests. I take a step back and I think about it and I think, okay, how can I, either implement something or, just look at something in my own life. Maybe it's something that I don't like, and how can I change it? And I've loved how many of the guests have brought so many different topics to life that have kind of made me do that.
Absolutely. They've been the catalyst. Either it's an awareness, they've brought an awareness to each of us, or it's a new technique or just a new tip or suggestion that we've implemented that's really helped improve our lives in so many ways. Right. And it's been really amazing. And then also, like, during the conversations, I know both you and I will be talking with a guest, and my wheels are always spinning about like questions to ask the guests. And then I'm like pondering my own life at the same time. And trying to intertwine the two. And I think that's just been really powerful. I feel like I've made some pretty big changes to my own personal life or my family's life as a result of this podcast. And really thanks to all the amazing guests that we've had on this show.
Yep. And, as we're talking about these changes, we're talking, I think both of us have taken small steps to make changes. We're not talking about these giant sweeping changes, but just, the guests are helping us on our journey.
Exactly.
And hopefully helping our listeners on their journey as well.
Right.
But it's been kind of an amazing outcome of the podcast that I didn't necessarily expect going into the project or whatever.
I did not either. I never thought about the impact for me personally. I always thought about really trying to share and spread the word and motivate and inspire other people to challenge the status quo and all the things that we talk about. I was focused on our listeners, which is obviously our number one priority, but I never realized the benefit that it would have for myself individually, for you, Marnie, for our families, which that has just been a bonus. That's been a silver lining, right, of the podcast.
Yes, a great ripple effect.
A ripple effect, exactly.
And I think another, wonderful ripple effect, if you will, is that I think this podcast has really forced me to live in the present. And I've always, tried to live in the present and really did as much as I could to, I don't want to say force myself, but, be aware of that. And I feel like it's actually working now. It's just happening.
Yes.
And part of that, I think, is because this work is so rewarding and fun, and I'm enjoying it so much that I'm not thinking about tomorrow or last week. I'm just here and now.
Yes. And I think one thing, because we're so ingrained in it and we're having these awesome conversations with guests who are inspiring everyone to be in the moment and share their suggestions, it's just osmosis for us, right? And we're just getting infiltrated with it on a regular basis versus I think before that it was only, a little bit ad hoc. And now it's yes, you hear it multiple different ways from multiple different people. And every time you take something else away from it. Yes. And it's interesting because now I find, because I was always so forward looking before and not as much in the present moment, this is my anxiety coming to play. I noticed a couple of my kids will be talking about the next day or what about this or the next week and kind of getting a little bit worked up about it. What about this? And I always have to remind them, let's just focus on today. Let's focus on this meal, this activity, whatever it is we're doing. But clearly I've been the role model for them where they were picking up on some of those tendencies before. And now I'm having to kind of rein them back in. But I feel good about the fact that at least I can recognize and have this awareness over being more mindful and being more present. So,
yeah. And I think I totally agree with you. And I think that, the more you hear something, like you mentioned before, over and over again, our brains are absorbing this and our bodies and our cells, everything is listening. So slowly over time, it's just starting to happen. And I think, also, talking about being in the present, but also trusting our intuition or our gut. Yeah, I like to call it the gut. I have found that I am making 99% of my decisions from my intuition or my gut. Mm-hmm. And I was always kind of a gut decision maker, but I'd let my brain take over and try and go back and forth. Brain, gut, which one's the right answer? Right. And now I'm just gut decision maker.
I couldn't agree more. I have historically made some bigger decisions in my life. And this is going back to high school based on my intuition. And I got away from that for so long. And actually through working with some healers that we've had on this podcast, I've been able to really take a step back, be more in the present, listen to my intuition, and follow my gut. And I've been so happy when I do. I can't even tell you, even in the last 6 months. So that I think is just such a big learning for both of us.
And it works out when you do that, right?
It does. Because I think the problem is we're bombarded with so many noises and messages from outside, including podcasts, right? that we don't take the time to really just reflect on what we need from a mind, body, spirit standpoint. And so that has just been huge. And we really hope that you guys all listening have been taking that from these podcast episodes as well. I think if that's the one thing that we, can hope for that our listeners take away, it's slowing down, right? And listening to our gut.
Yes, absolutely.
This is John Potter, and I've been a fan of the Art of Living Well podcast since its inception. I can't believe they've had 100 episodes. And as I look back on that time, it's amazing some of the stories I've heard and the people I've been introduced to. My favorite, of course, was Chastity Lord, CEO of Jeremiah Program. She talked about their approach to empowering women, navigating the challenges of single motherhood, and helping 2 generations change their trajectory. But overall, I've been super happy and love seeing what Stephanie and Marnie have done with the Art of Living Well podcast.
Hi, I'm Sage Marmette, and I'm a senior in high school, and I'm 18 years old. What I've learned about the Art of Living Well is to be aware of all the products that I'm consuming and how to make more healthier, sustainable, and better product decisions for me, and how to be aware of what I'm consuming, where it's coming from, and how I can make better, safer, and healthier choices for myself. I've also learned about how to declutter and how to make my living space and my room space / study space the best and most productive it can be by taking out unnecessary things that I don't need and making it so it's clean, organized, easy to use, and easy to focus in.
I think one thing we've both realized through this that we're so similar is just the love of learning and being this forever student. And it doesn't mean like going back to school and getting all these degrees necessarily, but just being curious and, whether it's reading new books or taking a course or trying a new class or experimenting with a new healing modality, whatever it is. We have just had some amazing guests on our show that I think we're just so excited every time we interview someone and learn something new. Both of us our eyes light up. If you guys could see us when we're doing the interview, we get so excited about all these new topics.
And I've had a lot of people say to me, do you just are you suffering from that you don't feel like you're good enough, so you need more certifications or you need more knowledge? And at the end of the day, I have thought about that a lot and examined it. I just love to learn. Like Stephanie said, I love to learn, and I'm going to be forever a student. I could go back to school indefinitely. Yes. Because it's a passion of mine, and I like learning new things. I could have 50 different careers and be engaged and excited about them. Yeah. So it's just a love of learning.
I agree. And, we were both doing college visits last weekend over our MEA break here in Minnesota. And I was on, 4, 5, 6 different campuses, and I just wanted to go back to school so bad. I was like, at one point, I am going to just join one of my 3 children and just be a full-time student.
Every time I listen to my son who's in college talk about what he's doing, I'm like, I want to go to college. It looks so fun. Totally. I want to go back to college.
Yes, I completely agree.
So I think I'm going to be one of those senior citizens, how you can take classes at the university, or you can sit in on a course. I'm going to be that person sitting in on all those courses.
I know. I love it. And it keeps your brain sharp and fresh. I am not someone who's bored. And I think maybe this is indicative of this whole love of learning. What's your nightstand look like? And what do your stack of books look like? And I literally have at least 3 books going at any one point in time. And I know that probably drives people crazy. I don't read one book because I have a nonfiction, book, a self-help book, a fiction book, something that's just a light, easy read. And then thanks to all the guests that we've had on who are also authors, we're reading a lot of their books, and it's just, I don't know, but I love it. And I don't, I'm not going to apologize about it. It's something that I enjoy, and eventually I do get through all the books. It just takes me a little while.
Yeah. It's funny. I used to be the type of person that had to read a book from start to finish. This was probably 10, 12 years ago. And now, like you, I'm reading I have an audiobook going. I have 3 different books on my nightstand. I have a lot of different books going. And like you said, it may take some time to finish them, And sometimes I just have my trashy novels that I like to
Yes.
read too. So,
The beach read. Yeah.
yes, the beachy reads,
Yeah.
exactly. But it comes back to that love of learning. Always a student.
Exactly.
Hi, I'm Caroline Potter. I'm 13 years old and I'm in 8th grade. What I've learned about the art of living well is how doing a Sunday reset helps me get prepared for the week, like doing laundry and cleaning up my room, so that I can be more organized and productive, especially during the school year when I have sports and activities. Also, I have learned to get rid of what I don't need and organize my space. And even sometimes I like to organize the pantry and fridge when the Thrive Market box arrives. Lastly, I have learned that our bodies need certain vitamins and minerals to feel the best. I've been taking several types of supplements that make me feel great and more energized.
As we start to wrap this up, one thing that we've learned, and these are just good lessons, are just making mistakes. And I think working together, you and I working together, right? And then working through any, just challenges or communications with our guests. And we've had lots of amazing interns that we've worked with, which has been a learning, and learning from each other and learning from our families, and just, a few little bumps along the way, nothing major, of course, but I think just reflecting on things that you could always be doing better, right? And acknowledging when you have made a mistake. And I feel like those are just good life lessons.
And exactly. And I think, communication is so key.
Yes.
And like you said, acknowledging your mistakes and then being able to let go and move forward.
That's key, Marnie. That is
yes.
key.
Because sometimes you can hold it, not you, but a person can hold a grudge.
Yes.
Or, say, well, 2 years ago you did X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And that's not good for anybody.
No.
And it's especially not good for the person holding the grudge.
I was going to say that's just like dense energy that's just honestly creating inflammation in your body. If
yes.
At a deep level, but let it go, right? Like we have to learn to let it go. And I think, we need to celebrate and have fun. And I think we're very much work hard, play hard people. And we do a lot of hard work, but we also both know how to relax, have fun, enjoy ourselves, enjoy our time with our friends and our family. And that's, something I think we both role model very well with our families too.
And that's what life is all about, right? Like at the end of the day, you have to think about how you want to live your life, how you want to spend your time, how you want to spend your days. And, I want to spend mine with lots of love, laughter, and fulfillment.
Yes, absolutely. So anyway, as we wrap this up, thank you guys so much. Thank you to all of our listeners out there. Thank you for being with us on this journey. We would love to hear from you. So we'd love to know what you've learned from the Art of Living Well podcast, 100 episodes, and find us on social media, tag us, of course, email us, write us a review and let us know what you've learned from the 100 episodes that we've shared. And of course, we'd welcome any suggestions on future topics and guests as we focus on the next 100 episodes.
And thank you for celebrating with us today. And just a quick ask of you guys as well to celebrate your wins, whatever they may be. Don't forget to celebrate your wins.
And it can be very simple, like you got outside and went on a walk today. That's a win.
And have a great rest of your day.
Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Jordan, Marnie's husband, and what have I learned from the Art of Living Well? It has been a really long and gradual journey toward better health and better mindset. I can easily focus on things like food and the dietary changes that we've made here at home, that I've made, things like doing quarterly detoxes, cutting caffeine out of my diet, really trying to cut down on sweetened things to an extent. But it goes so far beyond that. It's really, it's gone to things like changing our bed out for a cleaner bed, using cleaner cleaning products around the house, really making some significant and mindful changes about our life. I've enjoyed the journey, and I am wanted to wish you congratulations to Marnie and Stephanie on this 100th episode. I am so excited and so proud of you.
Life is a journey, and living well is a journey. And each of the choices we make along the way informs that journey as we become the best that we can be.
Thank you so much for listening to the Art of Living Well podcast. We are so grateful that you joined us today.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend or anyone else you think may benefit from this information. We'd love for you to subscribe to our podcast, leave us a review, and tag the Art of Living Well podcast on social media.
If you want more inspiration in between episodes, you can find us on social media at theartofliving_well on Instagram and Facebook, where we will share snippets from our daily lives and our journey to living well.